Hello, I'm Dr. Jana Martin, Chief Executive Officer at the Trust. I appreciate your taking the time to join me for a company update. But first, I'd like to address something that occurred last year. As you may know, the Trust decided to end its long-standing relationship with APA last July. The decision to end our preferred provider status wasn't an easy one, but it was the right thing to do after determining the terms put forth by APA were not in the best interest of our policyholders. We continue to get questions about this separation, so I'd like to take this opportunity to set the record straight on some of the confusion and misconceptions. First and foremost, members of APA, or any other psychologist for that matter, are not required to switch their policies from the Trust to any other provider. No one can dictate to you what coverage you choose. That's a personal decision you get to make. APA even states this in their material. Who you choose as the provider of your professional liability policy should be based on numerous important factors, such as strength of the company, its focus on psychology, its broad coverage, products, benefits, and services, like free and confidential risk management consultation with experts who are licensed psychologists, and many other factors. The Trust excels in these areas. When you need to use the benefits of your policy, cost and whether or not there's a marketing agreement between an association and the provider are not going to be your primary concerns. Keep in mind, too, that the Trust does not require membership in APA or any other association, and that the Trust is the largest provider of professional liability coverage for psychologists. And all of our discounts are available to psychologists in every state, unlike other companies which restrict discounts to certain states. Second, when evaluating policies, please be sure that you're comparing apples to apples. I've heard of too many instances of current policyholders contacting us about a great deal they received from another provider, only to find out that the quote was for a claims-made policy, not an occurrence policy. That's a big price difference, not to mention a big change in the type of coverage. Keep in mind also that the Trust is the only provider that offers the option of both claims-made and occurrence coverage. Next, some of the information presented about not needing to purchase a tail because prior acts coverage is offered is incomplete. It's important for you to know that the availability of prior acts coverage, which the Trust also offers, does not necessarily negate the decision to purchase a tail when you switch your claims-made policy to a new carrier. Be aware that prior acts coverage is subject to the new policy's terms, exclusions, and restrictions. Because policies vary and do not always cover the same practice settings or focus at the same level, you may not receive the same coverage you paid for while covered by the Trust. For instance, the Trust provides for unlimited defense for sexual misconduct, while other carriers do not. The decision whether or not to buy a tail deserves thoughtful consideration. I don't want to see you put yourself in a bad position based on incomplete information. Also, ask detailed questions about what restrictions there are for a tail with a new provider. There are some important differences. If you're considering purchasing a policy from someone else based on price alone, I encourage you to examine the differences between us and ensure that you know exactly what you're getting for your premium dollar, discounted or not. Remember to ask yourself these important questions. Does your provider offer you free, unlimited, confidential, ethical and risk management consultations with a team of licensed psychologists who have extensive legal experience, like the Trust Advocate 800 program? We don't know of one other than the Trust. Does your provider offer a complete line of financial security products specifically for psychologists that cover your entire life, not just your career, like the Trust? We don't know of one other than the Trust. After all, in addition to being the CEO, I'm also a psychologist and policyholder, as are the majority of our board members. So we personally understand the needs and challenges you face and how the Trust's unique position covers you like no one else does. One more thing before I go. Have you heard about our newly established Trust Practice and Risk Management Association, or Trust PARMA for short? Membership is complimentary to all our policyholders and provides access to risk management, continuing education, and professional support. We like to call it the new home for practice. And speaking of practice, I'm excited to announce the brand new National Practice Conference that Trust PARMA will be co-hosting with the National Register on November 8th and 9th at the Intercontinental Hotel in Washington, D.C. It's a not-to-be-missed skills-building conference. Please mark your calendar and look for details coming soon. If you have any questions, you can email us at questions@trustinsurance.com. I am happy to answer any of your concerns. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.